Hello, you girls. I don't do booktube tea, alright? I don't do booktube tea videos because, for the most part, most bookies tea is lame. It's not fun at all with passive aggressive Karens beating at each other. But I saw this Alexa Don't the video about this bad art friend situation, and I was like, this is amazing. Alexa did something great in this video because, alright, the whole situation is, it's books drama that is so insane, it's fun. What I liked about the video is that most of the book tea drama is done by people who, on a Sid Lord scale of 1 to Lindsay Ellis, are on a 0 scale. Alexa manages to bring her performance to, I don't know, 5 or 6, so it was a very entertaining video. I have a link below because it goes very deep into the situation she has experience with traditional publishing circles, and yeah, I had to make a video about it because I have the Toxic Author type series, and this makes a good addendum to it, because I never thought of this type of an author as a toxic, but whatever, that's insane. That's insane. That's an insane situation. If you get to the point where you have what about my kidney in a literary discussion, then God, this situation is stupid, and I loved everything about it. So I'll try to do my best on doing a tea video about it. Yeah, I'm going to pretty much go in a mansplaining way. You may feel that I was very insensitive towards both parties, but they deserve it. Alright, this story is about Dorland versus Sonya Larson. They're both literary authors from Boston, and the New York Times had an article about it and it was a hoot. It all starts with Dorland donating a kidney. Right? Alright, she's donating a kidney to a person she does not know. And Dawn is the person we'll talk about here for the most. She's the type of author we want to examine. And I won't be like a cynical person to say that Dawn Dorland gave away one of her kidneys to promote her career. Alright? I truly believe that she did it out of the good of her heart, because she wanted to serve, because she wanted to give life to a person that was in need. She actually gave the kidney blind. She didn't know who the person to be donated to would be. And she had a letter along with the kidney, and I think the kidney went to a man of Jewish origin. If I didn't have a black cynical heart, I'd say that she did something admirable. But since I can only get satisfaction out of reading fictional people getting tortured and killed, yeah, people would say it's something admirable. Alright, let's leave it at that. She did this back in June of 2015, alright? And she made a Facebook group, adding people, her friends, her relatives, as well as some authors from the Boston community in that group, and she shared the letter as well as updates about it, her non-directed donation, and she actually went out and had speeches about non-directed donation of kidneys and stuff, to promote people giving away their organs to save other people, a donation chain, etc. She did this in her 30s, and she added a lot of other authors, of course. But at some point, she saw that some of the people she has invited would not react to her posts. One of them was Sonya Larson, and she emailed Larson, Dawn emailed Larson, and yes, there was a conversation between there. And at some point in the conversation, Dorland goes, among other things, asks, I think you're aware that I donated my kidney this summer, right? Alright, real talk. If one of my writer friends donated their kidney, and they added me to a Facebook group and had a lot of Facebook posts about it, and says, you're aware that you donated my kidney this summer, right? I'm like, fuck off. I'll be like, fuck off. That's awkward. That's very awkward. And Larson was like, oh yeah, right. It was a tremendous thing. And that will be a little drama at this point, only there is a thing. Dorland at the same time was writing a story about a woman donating a kidney. She wrote a story about a woman who receives a kidney, and that story went places. It was published in a literary magazine, and it got accolades. It was supposed to be distributed to the people of Boston through a local drive, and it was going places. And it's about the protagonist of Larson. She has a recurring character in her book who is Asian American like herself. Yes, she's called Larson, but she's half Chinese, I believe. Half Asian, whatever, half East Asian. Her protagonist has a car crash because she was drunk, and she has to get a kidney transplant, and it's donated to her by a white woman who is very demanding of her, who wants to be recognized, who is not a narcissist, as Larson puts it. And you can pretty much realize that Dorland was very pissed. She was very pissed because along with the kidney, the protagonist in Larson's story receives a letter, and it's a lot like Dorland wrote. So there is a whole lot of lawyers involved and suing and counter-suing, etc. There is a lot of stuff happening in this case, but I would sympathize with Larson up to this point, alright? I would definitely be very sympathetic to her. She encountered something in the wild, and she was inspired to write a story about it, and that's the right thing to do. And Dorland has, alright, she has a point that Larson used her letter, but I would say that ethically that's fair use. It was a very nice letter, and we'll get to the contents of the letter a bit later because it connects to something else I want to say about this case, about this, I'm not sure if it's toxic, but it's another type, and you can encounter them in the wild, in writer communities, and Dorland really reminds me of that. But let me go on why I'm very pissed with Larson, alright? I mean, I don't know about the legalese. Lawyers and courts in the US, in the Boston area, may have a different opinion about fair use. I'm not fluent in law, but as an author, I can relate Larson, and most of us, we know who go deeper into the story and the details, because I'm not going to read the article for you. You can go on Alex's videos, he goes through the entire article, and it's a great commentary video. You can empathize with Larson, alright? She's in the right here. Sort of, because what she did once Dorland went nuclear with lawyers and stuff, she pulled the race card. She says, oh, it's a white woman trying to silence a woman of color. And that's, to me, that's the worst case of the race card, alright? Yes, there is some punching down in the story. Somebody who is less privileged is punched down by somebody who is more privileged. But it's not Larson getting punched down by Dorland, it's the other way around. Reading the article, Dorland went through a childhood of poverty. She was in a small town in the Midwest, I believe, and her family lived hand to mouth, and she was very much abused by her family, and she lived in poverty. She got a scholarship for writing, and she went to university, she got jobs, she went up, but still she's unable to find any literary recognition or recognition by her peers. And at some point in the article there is an excerpt from her, from the book she's working on, and it's nothing to write home about. Alright, if that's the best part you can come up with, yeah, sorry lady, sorry, don't write to market. Meanwhile, Larson, from what I understand, she was half Asian. She had an Asian mother, I believe, but she grew up in a middle-class family, and she felt a bit alienated because other people were white and she was not. And She felt the odd one out. But still you can see the imbalance here. Larson has a burgeoning career. I believe I'm not sure, I may be wrong about it, but from what I understand the article, she didn't live in poverty like Dorland, and not living in poverty is a great privilege if you want to pursue writing, because you have less things to worry and more time to focus on writing. Maybe, go full time or something. It's not just race, right? There are more important things than race, like, poverty. Being poor is bad, regardless of your color. Yeah, of course, you may feel that all your white friends don't like you because you look Asian, but probably that's true. It's not fun being the odd one out. But yeah, it's if you go into the discovery and how Larson and the rest of the writing group, which involves Celeste and Jim, who is a literary author going places and is afraid of Larson, and how they react to Dorland and how they mock her, it doesn't feel right. That feels very white of them, despite their skin color. Let me read to you Dawn's letter. Alright? Personally, my childhood was marked by trauma and abuse. I didn't have the opportunity to form secure attachment with my family of origin. A positive outcome of my early life is empathy, that it opened a well of possibility between me and strangers. While perhaps many more people would be motivated to donate an organ to a friend or family member in need, to me, the suffering of strangers is just as real. Throughout my preparation of becoming a donor, I focused a majority of my mental energy on imagining and celebrating you. Yeah, you can see that Dorland has kindness. He's kind, and this kindness is born of the situation of his childhood. The abuse she suffered. Being very poor, she realized the people need help. She has the privilege of having 2 kidneys, so she can give one to those who don't have, because a lot of it probably stems from her childhood, from missing essential things. And I say it's admirable, and the way she acted, her outrage also stems from this thing, from not being recognized, from being deprived what she wants more, because the other authors were laughing at her thoughts about how important it is that she gave away a kidney, and how important it is to do that, and how special she felt about it. At the same time, I can get why a lot of middle class people would laugh at her, because what about my kidney? It's what she did is admirable, but at the same time her attitude about it was like, praise me. And I can see why Larson, who received an email, you realize I gave a kidney away, would write a story about a narcissistic woman trying to demand admiration from the recipient of that kidney. It's there. And if it was me, I would definitely write a story, a thriller, where Dorland goes 90s psychological thriller psycho about it and stalks the recipient of that kidney, because she was missing very important recognition in her life. She was missing a lot that the other person had. That makes a great thriller. The Donor, it's about a woman who grew up in poverty. She was working with another woman who needed a kidney transplant. She gave away her kidney and demands a lot out of her because she really wants her life and recognition and stuff. The story's writing itself. It's a great story, feel. And I want to see stories based on that case, even though after all this legal stuff, it's very hard to see that. But you realize that it's a very interesting concept, and you get a lot of interesting stories around it. Because, at some point I feel that Dorland wants respect, and is not getting it. Again, her writing doesn't seem great. It feels like she doesn't know how to blend in with other people. You understand the idea that she confronted Larson for not liking her posts about giving away a kidney is off. It really shows that her social skills are not her strong point. and she looks that she's starving for attention, and that's the author type I want to talk to you about, because there are some authors who really feel like they're never recognized. They're people who want recognition, crave recognition, and oftentimes it stems from from their childhood, from the situation of their birth, of their life, of family life, etc. And they are in the community and they want to be exalted, they want to be worshipped, they want to be recognized, they want to belong, and they never do. And oftentimes they don't do because of their own self. I mean, Dorland could probably fit in, but she went on the extra mile. She lived a continent away by giving away her kidney, and that's admirable, but yeah, that's not how you build relationships. And if you push this, oh, I gave away a kidney, you're going to get mocked, right? It comes off very wrong, especially since their authors were very cynical, and the people in the Boston community, they look cynical. They look like they don't see Dorland as a friend, they see her as an acquaintance, while Don saw them as friends, as peers, as people that she has a strong bond with. But she didn't, she was just, professional acquaintances. I don't know, I don't know the situation, but overall, they're both on their own, for entirely different reasons, and both Dorland giving away her kidney and Larson writing a great story about it is good for them. But when you dig deeper into the situation, how Dorland was ridiculing how Larson was ridiculing Dorland in correspondences with other authors in the group, or how Dorland confronted Larson about not liking her posts, all the legal battles that ensue, and the sues and counter sues and the articles, it doesn't look good. Dorland could just take the L. Larson wrote an interesting story out of her situation that didn't paint her on a good light. That made Dorland look like an asshole, and she could just take the L and just move on. Maybe even, congratulate Larson for it and make lemonade out of the lemons she was given. Instead, she went for oranges. And I don't know. That's them apples, I guess. So yeah, that was it. That was my take on the situation. It's a cluster, and it's insane. It's it's not funny, but it's just so bonkers. You have to laugh at the whole situation. What About My Kidney is that's a sheer perfection. That's perfection of clusterfuckery. All right, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed my take on this video. Would love to hear your comments about it. See you soon. Bye bye.